You are sitting in a dentist's chair right now, or you have been recently, or you are avoiding it because you already know something is wrong. Cavities, crowding, wisdom teeth that grew in sideways and had to be surgically removed, gum disease that crept in quietly over years. You brush twice a day. You floss, at least sometimes. You have access to fluoride toothpaste, professional cleaning tools, and a trained specialist who spent a decade learning how to keep your mouth healthy. And yet your teeth are still, in all likelihood, a mess. Now consider this. Your ancestors had none of that. No toothbrush, no toothpaste, no floss, no dentist, no fluoride, no orthodontist to straighten crowded teeth, no surgeon to remove impacted wisdom teeth. And the archaeological evidence is unambiguous. For the vast majority of human prehistory, our ancestors had nearly perfect teeth. Straight, strong, cavity-free, with wisdom teeth that fit comfortably in the jaw alongside all the others. Not occasionally, not in a few exceptional individuals. Consistently, across populations, across continents, across hundreds of thousands of years. So what happened? What changed? And what does the answer reveal about the food you eat, the jaw you were born with, and the body you are living in right now? Start with the teeth themselves. Human teeth are not designed for the mouth most modern people are walking around with. Dental anthropologist Peter Ungar at the University of Arkansas has spent his career studying the teeth of human ancestors, and his findings are striking. The teeth of pre-agricultural humans show almost no cavities, minimal wear patterns inconsistent with decay, jaws that were wide enough to accommodate a full set of 32 teeth, including 4 wisdom teeth, without crowding. The alignment was, by modern standards, extraordinary, and this was not the result of genetic superiority or lucky biology. It was the direct result of what those teeth were doing every single day. Your teeth are tools. They were designed, over millions of years of evolution, for a specific job: tearing, crushing, and grinding raw and minimally processed foods. Fibrous roots, tough meat, hard seeds, chewy dried fruit, crunchy insects, raw vegetables with genuine structural resistance. Every bite of food that required real chewing was simultaneously exercising the jaw, stimulating blood flow to the gums, scrubbing the tooth surfaces clean, and producing saliva in quantities that neutralized acid and washed away debris. Your mouth was a self-cleaning system, and the food was the cleaning agent. Researcher Daniel Lieberman at Harvard University, in his work on the evolution of the human head, documents something remarkable about jaw development. The human jaw is not a fixed structure determined entirely by genetics. It is a responsive plastic tissue that grows and reshapes itself in response to mechanical loading. In plain terms, the jaw grows wider and stronger when it is used hard during childhood and adolescence. Children who chew tough, fibrous food during their developmental years grow wider jaws. Children who eat soft, processed food grow narrower jaws. And a narrow jaw is exactly where all the modern dental problems begin. Crowded teeth, impacted wisdom teeth, misaligned bites, teeth that grew in crooked because there simply was not enough room for them. This is not a small effect. Orthodontist and researcher Kevin Boyd has studied the skeletal records of pre-industrial populations and found that jaw crowding and dental malocclusion, the misalignment of teeth, were essentially absent in hunter-gatherer populations and early agricultural societies. They appear suddenly and dramatically in the archaeological record with the adoption of soft, processed, grain-heavy diets. The teeth did not change. The jaw did, and the jaw changed because the food changed. But diet was doing something else, too. Something happening at the chemical level inside your mouth right now. Cavities are caused by a specific process. Bacteria in your mouth consume sugars and fermentable carbohydrates and produce acid as a byproduct. That acid dissolves the mineral surface of your teeth, creating the holes we call cavities. The more sugar and refined carbohydrate in your diet, the more acid your bacteria produce, the faster your enamel dissolves. Your ancestors were not eating sugar. They were not eating white flour. They were not eating the dozens of hidden fermentable carbohydrates packed into every processed food that lines the shelves of a modern grocery store. They were eating foods that left almost no substrate for acid-producing bacteria to work with. Their oral microbiome, the community of bacteria living in their mouths, was fundamentally different from yours. More diverse, more balanced, without the single dominant acid-producing species that modern diets select for. Dental researcher Christina Adler at the University of Sydney led a landmark study published in 2013 that analyzed ancient human dental plaque across thousands of years of human prehistory. Her findings were extraordinary. The diversity of bacterial species in the mouths of pre-agricultural humans was dramatically higher than in modern mouths. The introduction of farming, and later the Industrial Revolution and the widespread adoption of refined flour and sugar, caused a catastrophic collapse in oral microbiome diversity. Each dietary shift wiped out species and allowed acid-producing bacteria to dominate. Your mouth today is not the mouth your ancestors had. It is a depleted, imbalanced version of it, shaped by 10,000 years of dietary change. And then there is the physical cleaning that modern people almost entirely underestimate. Your ancestors were not passive about oral hygiene. Archaeological evidence from sites across Africa, Asia, and Europe shows consistent use of teeth-cleaning tools. Chew sticks, small twigs from specific tree species that release antimicrobial compounds when chewed and fray at the end into natural bristles, have been found at sites dating back hundreds of thousands of years. Many of these sticks came from trees like the Salvadora persica, the Miswak tree, which contains natural fluoride compounds, antibacterial agents, and astringents that actively fight decay-causing bacteria. Ancient humans were not stumbling through the dark hoping their teeth survived. They were applying genuine botanical pharmacology to the problem, with tools refined over thousands of generations. Beyond chew sticks, the simple act of eating fibrous food performed continuous mechanical cleaning. Every bite of a raw carrot, every piece of chewy dried meat, every fibrous root scraped across the tooth surface was removing plaque and debris. Modern food, by contrast, is engineered to dissolve. It requires almost no chewing. It leaves residue on the tooth surface rather than cleaning it, and it is loaded with the specific sugars and carbohydrates that feed the bacteria doing the damage. So why do your wisdom teeth not fit? Why does almost every modern person need orthodontic intervention at some point in their life? The answer is both simple and uncomfortable. Your jaw never got the mechanical stimulation it needed during childhood to grow to its full genetic potential. Not because you were born deficient, because the food you ate was too soft. The jaw your ancestors developed through years of hard chewing is significantly wider than the jaw the average modern child develops eating processed food. And into that narrower jaw, the full complement of teeth your genetics coded for tries to erupt anyway, without enough space. Dental researcher Weston Price documented this transition in meticulous detail in the early 20th century, traveling to isolated populations around the world that had not yet adopted Western diets. The pattern was unmistakable in every population he studied. The first generation to adopt Western processed food developed crowded teeth, cavities, and jaw narrowing. Their parents, raised on traditional diets, had wide jaws, straight teeth, and minimal decay. The change happened in a single generation. It was not evolution. It was food. Here is the unsettling conclusion that the evidence points toward. Your teeth are not failing because you are not brushing enough or flossing enough or visiting the dentist enough. Those things matter, and they help. But the deeper problem is that your jaw was never given the chance to grow into the shape your genes intended, and your oral microbiome was never given the chance to remain the diverse, balanced community it evolved to be. The dentist's chair is not the solution to a dental problem. It is the management system for a dietary problem that started before you were born. The next time you sit in that chair, consider this. Somewhere in your family line, not very long ago in evolutionary terms, your ancestors chewed through food that would challenge your jaw to its limits. Their teeth were straight because their jaws were wide. Their mouths were clean because their food cleaned them. Their wisdom teeth fit because there was room for them. Everything your dentist is fixing today is the downstream consequence of food becoming soft, sugar becoming constant, and a jaw that never got the workout it was built for. Your teeth remember what they were designed for. Your diet just never gave them the chance to prove it.